Hey everyone, welcome back to the Minecraft modding tutorial series. Where we're doing finally, some Minecraft modding. We took a couple of videos to just get everything set up and to get Minecraft running on our computers from within Intellij. So now if I click on Run Client, okay, this actually launches Minecraft from within Intellij. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on that just to demonstrate where we left off. um, Yesterday. You can kind of see some things are spinning up here. We'll let this spin up. Okay, you can kind of see Minecraft Forge spinning up. Okay, so if you're caught up, you're to this step where you can launch Minecraft Forge from Intellij. I've got a lot going on my computer right now, so it's running a little laggy because I'm doing this recording and chatting with everybody and doing all the things. And of course, if you get to the screen, this is success. We can click on mods. We see this example mod, and this is where everyone should be. Again, if you're not here and you're a part of this camp, that's okay. I can work with you to get you here. Okay, but we have to move forward because the majority of people are ready to move forward. Okay, and actually start to write some mods and get some items in the game. Okay, so I went ahead and closed Minecraft Forge, so um, we're back in IntelliJ now. And so a lot of our code, I mean, there's a lot going on here, and I could simplify this and delete some things that aren't necessary, but I'm just going to keep this minimal. Um, if I look at these different folders, and everyone should have this. Um, this is what's already on everyone's computer. Okay, so I guess first off, let's talk about this. These are um, folders, and inside of folders, we've got more folders. And inside of those folders, we've got more folders. And then inside of those folders, we got more folders. And just to show you that, this is on my desktop, and there's my tutorial mod, and there's Forge, and there's the source folder, and there's the main folder, and then there's Java, and then there's com, then there's example mod. Okay, finally we get to a file. Okay, we don't need to mess with this file here, but I just wanted to show you that these are all folders to eventually get to a file. As you know, folders organize our files on our computers. And so if you're like me, maybe you have a lot of icons on your desktop. And I know where to find all of my desktop icons, but if someone else wanted to find a particular icon on my desktop, it would be hard for them because I just have a lot of icons on my desktop and they're just scattered all over the place. And so that's where folders become useful. Folders become useful for organization. We want to organize our files um, in a way that would help other people looking for those files. And so maybe you would have a folder on your desktop for games. And maybe you'd have another folder on your desktop for homework. And maybe you'd have another folder on your desktop for your hobbies. Okay. And so that's the reason for all of these folders. They're there for organizational purposes. Okay, and if I drill through these folders, we're going to have to get used to these folder structures a little bit because we're going to be going through them a lot. A lot of what we're going to do is in this source folder. This is like your source code. By the way, um, source code is a very commonly used um, term. Source code, and I'm just typing this out. Source code is the code, is the actual Java code that we write. Um, so source code is it's a semi-technical term, right? It's just a term, okay, that says, okay, this is the code that we're writing. We write source code. You write an English paper. You just say you're writing English. You're writing English, and when you write Java, you write source code. And so that's what the SRC folder is. It's for your source code. It's where all your code goes. Then we've got some different subfolders. Most of our source code is gonna be in the main. And then this is the main Java source code. So I'm just explaining the folder structure. This is basically the main Java source code, right? So that's the folder structure. Now, this .com example mod, if you had a website, which we won't, you could name this your website. But because we don't have a website, we're just going to keep that what it is. And inside of this is where the main source code is for our mod. Okay, look how much is there. It turns out that a lot of this is overly complicated and not needed for what we're going to do. Okay. One thing that I'm going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to write some code, and then I'm going to give you guys the code to essentially copy and paste, and I'll explain the code. It's going to be best at this point if you just copy and paste. The reason for that is I'm going to be making a lot of changes, and if you don't copy and paste, you will have typos. I don't know how fast of typers you are. If you take like a typing speed test, I've taken a typing class, and I can type pretty fast. I like, if any of you want to have a typing speed challenge, I'm all for that. I like to type. I like to type fast. I can type fast, and I can type accurately. But I'm 36 years old. I've had a lot of years of practice, and even as an accurate and fast typer myself, I make a lot of mistakes, and I have typos. And so if you don't copy and paste, you'll have typos. Even if you're a near perfect typer, which none of us are near perfect, you'll have typos. And so this source code that I'm going to write, I'm going to make the source code available to you. And so I'm going to make changes to this file. Okay, I'm going to make changes to this file. And then you guys are going to make changes to this file, but you're going to be able to copy and paste. So for now, I just want you to observe. All right, if I look at this file a little bit closer, if I scroll up to the top, I can see all these imports. Like I can see this little collapsing. I can click on this plus and minus, and it will expand all these lines of code. Okay, or if I click it again, it collapses it, and you can just kind of see the three dots, and you can see what's there. So it goes from line 3 to line 20. You see the line count, and that's because a lot of it's just kind of hidden behind this expanding and collapsing. So the first thing that I'm going to do to this file, and you will need to do this, okay? You can do this now, or you can do it when you're watching the recording, is I'm going to rename this file. By the way, you'll notice this file is called examplemod.java. .java is the file extension, and .java is where you find source code. So .java is a file where you write your source code. So when we're looking at example mod.java, we're looking at source code. And we know that it's Java source code because of its file extension. It's got .java. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rename the file name. I'm going to maintain the .java. .java is not going away. I'm just going to, so .java is the file extension. I'm just going to change the file name. This is called example mod. And because, you would name this whatever you want your mod to be. Because what we're doing here, what I'm doing is a tutorial. I'm gonna rename this to something different because I'm doing a tutorial. So the way to do this is refactor. So you can actually find the rename command under refactor. So what I'm going to do is inside of Intellij, I'm going to right click example mod. I'm going to click on refactor and I'm going to click on rename. And case sensitivity, like capital letters, is critical when writing code. Okay, keep that in mind as you're writing code. Case sensitivity is critical. It is absolutely important. So I'm going to write tutorial mod with a capital T and a capital M, and that's going to be the name of my file. That's going to be the name of my source code file, tutorial mod, and I'm going to click on refactor. And then I have to click on do refactor. So down here, before it actually does it, I got to click on do refactor. And there you can see now it's labeled as tutorial mod. Okay, and that actually changed some things in my source code. Like now you can see it says public class tutorial mod. There's a tutorial mod here. And that's all good. Okay, now as far as, so that's the first step, is renaming the file name. And I renamed it to tutorial mod. The next thing I want to do to this file is give it a mod ID. And the mod ID is right here on line 22. So this mod ID, you can see here, it's just called example mod. Again, since I'm doing a tutorial, I'm just going to call this tutorial, and you could do the same, tutorial. And I cannot explain the importance to these steps. Naming this exactly tutorial is going to be critical for this to work. If you don't name this exactly tutorial, if you have a typo, again, that's why we're going to copy and paste. But if you have a typo, it will break. Things will break. That's one lesson to learn as part of this camp, is that code, specifically Java code, is very strict. Case sensitivity, typos, punctuation, all of these things will cause it to break. And by it, I mean the actual mods. Okay? The third thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this word private to the word public. Again, you can copy and paste this at some point. Okay, and then what it turns out is that a lot of this code, it just isn't needed. Again, you're going to be able to copy and paste this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight some code here and delete it because it's just not needed, and it's going to help us to simplify a little bit. And then inside of here, lines 38, 39, and 40 at this point, I'm just going to delete this. And I'm going to delete this, and this, and this, and this. And this. Let's see. a couple extra in here. We got one extra. So now I've really simplified this file. I think you guys will grow to appreciate the baseline that's kind of simple. Okay, so that's the first thing that we've done is we've simplified this file. Again, I'm going to make all of this available to you to copy and paste. Okay, let me next, I'm going to close this tutorial mod now. And I'm going to open up a different file. The next file is still in the source folder and then in main. I'm going to click on resources, meta inf folder, and this is a mods.toml file. And this is where we're going to make some changes, and you're actually going to see some of the changes that we write, and you're going to see it in your mod in the game. So this is kind of cool because this is the file that we're going to make our first change and see it in the mod. Okay, now you can kind of see this if you look closely. There's a dark gray. Okay, and if you're seeing something that's in dark gray, that's a comment. Okay, and the comments are not really the source code. The comments are just there for the coders to see. Okay, something like this, it says mandatory. We don't touch line 7. Okay, we're going to keep line 12 as well. It says license, says all rights reserved. If I had like a website where you can report bugs in that, we could put that website here. The first thing I'm going to change on this file is my mod ID. If I remember earlier, if I open up the tutorial mod, I said that this is our mod ID. Our mod ID is the word tutorial, right? So I'm going to change the mod ID to be tutorial because I said that's mandatory and that has to match. Spelling matters, case sensitivity matters. If your mod ID does not match, it will cause things to break. Now, this says the display name. And the display name is what you'll actually see this called in the game. This says example mod. I'm going to say Evan Gudmested's tutorial mod. And so that'll be what it says in the game. You'll see it'll say Evan Gudmested's tutorial mod. Again, if I had a website, I could update this. I don't have a website. So you can either delete that or keep it there and it'll say optional. I'm just going to keep that there. And again, you could take that out, no big deal. If you had an actual picture of what you wanted it to look like in the game, you could put that picture in there. I don't have a picture. We're just going to leave it like that. Here's credits. Again, a text field displayed in the mod UI. So let's say thanks for following along. Thanks for following along on my Minecraft modding tutorial. And the authors, Evan Andreas Gudmested. That's my name. And again, you notice I'm not changing, all I'm changing is the green here. I'm changing the green, what's within the quotes. I'm not changing the gray. I'm not changing the light gray or the dark gray. I'm just changing the green inside of the quotes. Okay, you don't want to change anything else. Again, this is very sensitive. And I'm going to give you a file to copy and paste here. Here's a description, and I can change this. It says this is a long description of the mod. You can write whatever you want here. So I'm going to put, and this is multiple lines. I'm going to say Rankin Technical College is located in St. Louis, Missouri. Evan Gudmested works at Rankin and is teaching this modding camp. And then my third sentence, I'm gonna leave these dots down. Like there's three single quotes. I'm gonna leave those. You got to leave those three single quotes at the beginning and leave the three single quotes at the end. Um, Thank you for participating in this summer camp in this 2021 summer camp. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and save this mods.toml. And again, I'm gonna make this available to all of you. Um, I don't really need an extension. I'm gonna click on ignore extension here because I can edit this just fine. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close mods.toml. I'm gonna close tutorial mod and let's run Minecraft. And if I made a mistake, it's not gonna run, which is fine. Part of writing code, this is another great thing to learn. Part of writing code is realizing that as human beings, we are not perfect. Because we are not perfect human beings, we do not write perfect code. We especially don't write perfect code the first time that we write it. And so having bugs or mistakes in your code is very normal, and that's okay. And so if I go to run this and it doesn't work, that's okay. I'll fix it and we will address that. But of course you want it to work. Of course you want it to work. But if it doesn't work, it's okay. Okay, down here you can see we've got 3 mods loaded. That's good. And here I could see Evan Gudmested's tutorial mod. I don't have a version. Mod ID is tutorial. There's my credits. There's the author. There's the description. Rankin Technical College is located in St. Louis, Missouri. And we're working. So perfect. This is the end of this first video where we just began to set up a Minecraft mod. And the next thing we're going to do is actually get an item in the game. Okay, I just wanted to take this first step and begin to work with some code and explain some things. And now that we've done this, once the class is ready, we'll get an item in the game. Stop, done, quit the game, and we'll see you in the next video.